want to believe that I'm the only person who has managed to raise broilers without any medication or any vaccination, just only glucose in water, and I'm proudly to speak my testimony. So today I'm going to share with you 6 tips that led me to manage keeping these broilers for exactly 6 weeks without any antibiotic, any vaccine, and probably with only glucose in water. So stay tuned. So with only glucose in water, since day one until any other time that I ever gave them water glucose, it was amazing. And guys, I want to tell you that it's not easy keeping these birds without any antibiotic, without any vaccine, and they happen to grow to maturity in quite a good number, or the number that you brought in. So personally, I have done it and I managed to keep broilers, though I was doing it for an experiment purpose, but then I managed, though with a few mortalities, because I bought like 50 birds. Then I was added other 5 birds, of which the 5 birds are the one that did not make it to the last stage. But then this is my testimony. Now, as part of brooding these chicks, I made sure that I provided enough heat during the night and during the cold times, and then I also provided proper ventilation for my birds. And as you can see, where I'm standing behind me is my chicken coop, a storage one, whereby down here we have 2 compartments, and then up I have 1 compartment. So I provided enough heat during the cold times, and especially during the night for the first 3 weeks, and then I did provide proper ventilation. Not forgetting, I never let them go without glucose in water. Now, the next thing that I did that made me get successfully to the other side was hygiene. Now, hygiene was what I was very keen in, and I want to assure you that I never joked around with hygiene. Especially before the chicks arrived, I was super cautious in terms of not wanting to let down my project, because I knew it was an experimental project of which I had enough time to do it. The third thing was lighting. You know, these birds, to eat, they have to see what they eat, because they don't eat in darkness. They are not nocturnal birds or animals, so they need to see what they feed on. So I provided enough light. That is, I provided light 24/7 in the chicken coop. So during the day they use the natural sunlight, and during the night I never switched off my light. So I provided ample time for the birds to eat whenever they felt like eating or drinking. I would like most of us to adapt farm availability. Now, I never missed on my farm for more than 1 hour. It would have been a sin. So I kept on appearing on my farm, or rather inside the chicken coop, every now and then, just to check on the birds themselves, how they are doing. And for some reason I noticed that the birds that died, or the birds that never made it to the last stage, died because I never used low brim drinkers. I used the wide brim drinkers, of which I eventually found some chicks inside the water, and they were dead, because you know that spout is like it can hold a chick. So I think they were struggling to get the water, and then it drowned, or rather they drowned apparently. So that is just part of the challenge that I encountered. But then when I noticed that, I had to amend the way I gave these birds water. Biosecurity, and biosecurity is in 2. Now we have the biosecurity itself, and then we have the general security. Now, biosecurity concerns about the welfare of the birds in terms of how do you manage the visitors who come in, how do you manage the environment in which these birds live in. And security, probably you should be having a dog, you should be having a watchman, you yourself should be just alert. So biosecurity built me a lot, in that before I started keeping broilers, I had done a lot of research, of which I learned that biosecurity starts with you, then the rest is a success story. If you fail to do what biosecurity requires you to do, then that is a failed success story. So people will be learning from your failures, and that is a good thing, by the way, though it will have costed you. So biosecurity is what I observed very keenly. I had to buy disinfectants, I had to spray around, kill some insects, bacteria, and of course, slowly by slowly, you just find yourself, you are managing your flock properly. And to tell you what made me hit the top notch of my research, I used from an accredited company, of which what I just had to do, I just to have faith and trust that they produce the best feed, and then everything worked out. So that is how I managed to keep these birds for 6 good weeks, 42 days. Apparently, from the 55 birds that I bought, I only managed to make 49 birds to the last stage. That is good news, without using antibiotics, without using vaccines. So I wanted to break the myth that people say broilers are birds that have been fabricated, are birds that have been genetically modified, are birds that have been injected with synthetic medicines just to make them, those are just stories. And mark you, my birds weighed more than 1.8 kgs. A third of the birds weighed 1.8 and above. And these birds have 2 feeding stages. One stage is the cramp stage, and the last stage is the finisher pellet stage. So how simple is that? So who says that these birds are injected with synthetic drugs? It doesn't work. So I'm a testimonial, and I brought you my story just to encourage some of us to eat chicken as part of white meat diet. And then I wanted to tell you that broiler chicken is one of the most legit businesses that you can venture in, so long as you just have the urge to do and the will to invest. So stay tuned.